Hi, I'm Dr. Kanika Tomalin, Deputy Mayor and City Administrator of the beautiful city of St. Petersburg. COVID-19 has been such a significant disruption to our community and its forward trajectory across the board. We are faced with shocks and stressors that determine quality of life in our community all the time, and we're well prepared for them. It's not a question of if we'll see disruption, but when and what it will be. And so while nobody was excited about COVID-19 and the disruption that it's had, our community certainly has responded with a resilience that is defining. We're well through the pandemic, but we are just beginning on our recovery, and it's something we'll need to continue to monitor for a very long time to ensure the most vulnerable among our community receive all of the resources that they need to ensure a strong, full, and sustained recovery. Primarily, this has to do with access to health, resources around the treatment of COVID-19 and other comorbidities, workplace exposure and the job pipeline, and ensuring that people are able to secure and retain employment, and make sure that people don't fall through the cracks of disparity that have stressed our community for far too long. There's a lot of opportunity in this disruption, in that it has shined a bright light on the fissures in our community where vulnerable people have long suffered, and provides quite a roadmap and blueprint for the ways that we can come together to emerge out of this global pandemic as a more resilient, healthy, and equitable community. We've been working very hard since Mayor Kriseman came into office and built the team around him to build an inclusive economic landscape that is very focused on equity and inclusive prosperity as it relates to preparation for jobs, ensuring there is a steadfast pipeline for that employment, and recruiting the employers to look to our job force and our local workforce first as they build out their teams of talent. This is an effort that is coordinated across multiple sectors. There's a cross collaboration within our community of partners from both the private and public sector, city and county government, to breathe life into these strategies, also in partnership with our school board and our school system. We've identified 5 targeted sectors of our economy that are poised for growth over the next few decades, places where we know there will be lots of business that develops, lots of entities that come and relocate to our community, and they'll all be looking for talent. So this is a time that is teeming with opportunity to make sure our young people are prepared to fully step into the opportunities that present themselves in our community. It will take a very consistent effort across administrations and across various levels of government, again, both the public and private sector, to fully realize the possibilities that are here now. But there is a plan, and we're committed to it. Mayor Kriseman came into office with a vision that was anchored solidly in one prevailing concept, and that is to create a city of opportunity. Very important. All of the work that we are doing is tested against that vision of creating a city of opportunity where everybody who lives in St. Pete feels that the city and the community has equal investment in the possibilities for their future. That's the why of equity for us. That's what we're trying to achieve. We are working to engineer opportunities that are sustainable and self-perpetuating, that allow people to step into the fullness of their potential without systemic constraint. How that's manifesting in our community is so complex and so nuanced. But the good news is this: we are a community that has decided that this is an imperative, and we are ready. Governments are talking about this. Private organizations are talking about this. Businesses are talking about this, and we have been for a long time. What's happening now is we are pivoting and turning the corner as a community in our readiness and our collective consciousness. We're pivoting toward action. Restructuring systems that have for generations disenfranchised people of color and women in this community systemically. We are acknowledging it, and we are reworking those networks, reworking those pathways, engineering true opportunity. That's going to take nearly as long to accomplish fully as it took to build it. This is a marathon of an effort that will call and require all of those people who sit in places of decision making to fully invest with capital of every kind. This endeavor is not theoretical. This is a practical endeavor that will unfold against very strategic planning. Again, that will take a very long time to happen. But what people can look for and expect and require and demand is that as decisions are being made, those are opportunities every time to test and demonstrate and evidence this commitment toward equity. Every decision that comes in front of St. Pete's City Council, every recommendation that comes out of Mayor Rick Kriseman's office, every policy, every program that's established has a place for equity to be evidenced. That's what we are working to do. That's what we are pushing all of the elected leaders who work in service with us to do. It's what the people of this community expect, and we won't stop until it's accomplished. In keeping with the thoughts I just shared, this is being examined, the construct of equity and what it means for the people of St. Petersburg is being examined in every formal convening of government. This includes our Charter Review Commission, which is an effort that happens every 10 years to look at the charter, which serves as the constitutional government or governing document for the city and lays out the provisions for governance. The Charter Review Commission is made up of a citizen board that is appointed by the mayor and city council, represents the 270,000 citizens who live in St. Pete. They'll look at everything from our waterfront parks system to the structure and form of our government. It's been made very clear by the Charter Review Commission, in keeping with the priorities that pre-exist the seating of the commission, that they'd like to see equity manifest meaningfully in the city's charter, to memorialize and make clear that this is a city that is guided by values, defined by equity, and that we will move meaningfully toward our commitment to be the most equitable community in our nation. That's a very real goal. And so the Charter Review Commission is working via subcommittee work to come up with the language that reflects that. It's in concert with work that has already been happening for years, at least the 8 years I know that I've been at the city, in formal and informal ways around the advancement of equity, and is really an indicating marker of where we are as a city and our expectations for the culture of our community. There will be a myriad of tactics and initiatives that are born of our community's commitment to advance equity in a meaningful way. The structural study on systemic racism is one such initiative that is happening, and the city has partnered with various equity mission organizations to commission a study by USF to understand systemic racism and the role that it has played on the trajectory of African Americans in St. Petersburg. From that study, and it's going all the way back to the very origins of this city and its settlement, and is looking at all elements and social determinants of the quality of life for African Americans in St. Petersburg. From that study, the city will then work together with the community to come up with recommended actions to implement solutions from those things that are revealed. We're very excited about this because it is giving a very tangible examination of the realities that those of us who have grown up and live in St. Petersburg, communities of color, who anecdotally know the truth of our lived experience. It will evidence it, substantiate it, make it very clear in a way that requires the systems of our community to respond in a more equitable way that changes the trajectory of quality of life for African American people in our community.